Hello, everybody. This is DJ Jones with the Sports Vision's morning show for the best in local, regional, and national sports news. Weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
You can find the Sports Vision's morning show on Facebook, YouTube. Also, you can listen to us on Apple and Spotify by typing in the Sports Vision's morning show, and download the Sports Vision's radio app right now in your app store today.
We are the only live and local sports talk show in East Alabama, West Central Georgia. Sports Vision 92.1. We are your hometown sports guys.
All right, everyone. Thank y'all again for joining us. I was going to have some audio problems. That's what happens when you freaking do it virtual the first time in a long time. I know Rick Beats laughing, who's actually off air right now. Like, look at this buffoon who is just messing up. But hey, we're good. I'm ready. Big Rich, how you doing?
Well, it happens. We haven't done a virtual show in like over a year. I mean, so we're good. We got it. We got it figured out. I'm good. I'm just ready to go. And you're muted.
How about the Harris County Tigers, man, winning the state championship? Congratulations to the Tigers, baby. And I'm telling you right now, at 11 o'clock on a Monday morning, to see that fan support, I told Coach Kinsey in the interview, I was blown away. I can't wait. We're going to have Rick Beach on, Go Do Sports, Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and he's going to be making a special announcement here tonight as well. But we're having him on predominantly to talk about a dominant season for Harris County. Then, Richard, how about a basketball analyst, a guy that's called several Carver games? He's become the new character around the sports area. I love him. He's a girls director, sports director for Girls Inc. His name is Mike Woods. We look forward to having him on to talk about the Carver Tigers. And then we'll end the show with Mike Frost as well. All right, Richard, I know you see the voice of the GIAA, also Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Hope you had a great weekend. Man, I went to Chicago. So, Sports Vision's Awards Luncheon, which congratulations, great job, DJ Jones, and everybody that was involved with that. Glad that we were able to give out awards. Glad Courtney Morgan came and spoke, John Parker Wilson. We'll get to that later on in the show. But I went from there, got on a plane. I actually drove up to Atlanta, got on a plane, went to Chicago, celebrated Natalie's birthday, spent money that I didn't have in negative 2-degree weather, then got on a plane last night, didn't get home till 3 in the morning, to then drive right back to Atlanta to be there for Harris County. It has been a long last 4 or 5 days, Big Rich, but I'm glad I'm back in, and I cannot wait to be there tomorrow.
Yeah, I am excited about the championship tomorrow. The Carver Tigers, 5 o'clock at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, taking on Hayfield Charter, trying to go back-to-back. And we were there last year for their championship win over Burke County, and I can't wait to be there tomorrow.
All right. So I'm going to put my headphones on, and we're going to take a quick break. When we come back from break, me and Rick Beach are going to be chopping it up. Harris County are your state champions, and he's going to be dropping some nuggets too. Mike Woods is right after that. Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. Don't go anywhere.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
Welcome back, everyone. Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. Thrift Barringer, and I am on from having us on, being on the show. I cannot get it, Rick. I'm so nervous, man. I hadn't had you on in a minute.
Right.
How are you, man? State champion. How does that feel?
It feels great. Been, a long time coming for the flag program and just, for Harris County in general to get back out there. We tasted it with Coach Jenkins last season with softball and just kind of had to scratch that itch to try to get another state championship.
You've been a part of the flag football team for quite some time. What got you involved? Why do you love this sport? And why are you such an advocate of growing this sport like you have?
just, having a daughter, girl sports and that stuff. And just at the time when they got it going with Zach Moss was leading the program, it was just the baby steps. You could see that you want to get ahead of it. You want to be out there at the forefront of it when it gets growing. And it was fun. They were up there. They played for state back in 22. Then it was at Georgia State, which luckily it wasn't at Georgia State this year, and it's 30 degrees this morning
Right.
at when the game started. But it's just you could see, and then you just kind of see with these girls, and you just start thinking so much of them and seeing how much they care about the sport. And next thing you know, you're knee deep in it and you're coaching it.
Exactly right, man. And I know you've had a lot of fun. Congratulations once again, man. Listen, I said this to Coach Kinsey, and I said hot take. And then afterwards, I'm like, is it really a hot take? Madeline Cricket Cawley. In this area specifically, how does she not the greatest flag football players to ever come out of this area? Think about the winning, the stats, and now to cement it with the state championship. She's one of the most phenomenal athletes I've ever come across, Rick.
Yeah, she's probably one of the best athletes in this area to come across. I mean, it's not just the flag football. She also tomorrow she's got a basketball game, so she's going to go right to basketball. She's lettered in golf, track and field. She was at the state competition in a long jump for track and field. She's on the Raider team. She's a leader on the JROTC. She's on that Raider team that they went and competed at the state level this year. Middle school, she's one of the best tennis players at the middle school that came up, but she didn't have time to do it in high school. When she got her freshman year, she was late coming into flag football. She was on the softball team that played for state that year. I mean, so she's done all these different sports and could do more if she just had time. And I tell her all the time, but I think she'd be a heck of a soccer player. And that's one of the only sports she had. When you see her Letterman's jacket, she's got just about any sport that's a female sport covered that she's not, but she don't just compete. She don't just show up and get the letter. She shows up and she's the best player on the court, the best player on the field, the best player in the class. She's got a phenomenal GPA. So she just checks all the boxes for what you want to be. Then you see her, we have a good middle school flag football program and they come to the games. And to see the way she handles those younger kids and the way those kids look up to her, she's just a phenomenal student. She's a phenomenal person. And then, she is probably the best athlete that roam the halls at 82, 81, Highway 116.
No doubt about it, man. And that touchdown pass, and we saw the highlight. She's rolling, and then she's throwing while she's fading away a 50-yard bomb. And I saw you react when you started high-stepping down the sideline. And I would have done the same thing, man. I had my hands up like this. But, Rick, you said this a lot, man, and no one does it like the county. When you looked up in the bleachers and you saw all those fans there on 11 o'clock on a Monday work day, it's nothing else you can say, man. That is what this community is all about.
You could hear them. Before the game, it was a decent crowd. About 10:30, we're getting loose. We look up there, and we got a pretty decent crowd. And then the game starts. Then we're in the game. And right before halftime, it's like Washington County's letting the clock run down. We know we kind of got all this momentum. We got the game in hand, where we want it to be going into halftime.
Right.
So I'm telling the girls on the sideline, hey, let's go off the field making some noise. Then you look behind them, and it's black and gold all the way from the bottom to the concourse level. That was incredible. Watching some of the tackle games, we had a crowd that rivals some of the tackle games.
No doubt.
That's going on up there. And that's phenomenal, especially you see these flag games and you see the support. And they got some decent crowds, but nobody did like the county, especially today. And they just packed out at Mercedes-Benz.
No doubt about it, man. And I'm glad that we were able to be there to cover it. Congratulations to Coach Kinsey. Finally, Rick, because there's a few more things I want to talk about before we let you go, because I know you're tired. Been a long day. Coach Kinsey, great job in year one. Obviously, bit off the foundation that Coach Moss was able to establish these last couple of years, but to finally get the team over the hump, what has he meant to this program and being a part of his staff this whole year?
Structure. He comes in, he has that structure he come into. He's, military police background, has all these, checks these boxes, but he's a leader. And he came in, he knew how to handle the staff. Me and Coach Colley were holdovers from the coaching staff. So he kind of had the defensive staff he held over. And, he didn't just come in and say, hey, this is what you're going to do. It's what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And
Right.
That's when I was like, this dude's a little different. He wasn't just coming in and talking to us. We had to, fill out these forms. We had to fill out what we'd like to do. He watches us at practice.
Awesome.
He gave us our roles. then he let us do that role. He didn't just give us a role and then come over there and micromanage. And Keith Colley, the defensive coordinator for that team this year, that was his defense. He had, Kinsey was Coach Kinsey ran the offense, and he had to install a new offense. We knew he wasn't going to have time to do much. He got the job halfway through the summer. So we're already rocking and rolling for 2025. So he had to install a whole new offense. And he let Coach Colley with that defense. Then, Colley had the little jobs I had. I had the blitzers and stuff. And, we got to fine tune on the defense. And on game days, if an offense was kind of getting the better of us, we'd sit over there and adjust it. And he stayed on the offensive side. He just let us do our jobs. Jamie Davis, Coach Davis, helped us out. And she was helping, people think, hey, she's the team mom. That's the persona some of these coaches get. But hey, she keeps up with personnel. She's making sure we got the right people on the field, especially on offense, where Kinsey's got his mind in, many different directions. We had Coach Davis. So all these coaches, we just had our roles, and we had somebody that trusts us. And it's amazing how, good that feels when you have a coaches that's doing that. And he brought that, and the kids, really look to him. And, you can see throughout the season, look, high school kids are no different than college and pros. They got to trust their coach, and you don't get that trust at practice. So you could kind of see as the season got going, it started clicking with the players on offense. Like, hey, this dude knows what he's talking about.
Right.
We need to listen to Coach Kinsey. Some of these plays that they look crazy at practice on air, then they start working in games. We were fortunate we steamrolled some teams this year. We had 3 losses. One of them was the Heard County by 1 point. We got that in the region playoffs. We got to get back on that one. We lost to Milton in overtime. They're playing for a state championship. We lost to McEachern. They're playing for a state championship. We lost them a late touchdown. Lost by 5. We beat Blessed Trinity. They're playing for a state championship. So we played great teams this year. So we kind of knew how we stacked up. We just put out today. We outscored the playoffs 133-7.
Holy
So,
smokes.
And that goes like today. It's not just being better talent than these teams. Washington County, we had we studied what they're doing. We looked at what they did, and we treat it just like it's football. You don't just roll the ball out there and have recess. This is a football, and flag football is getting to that level. And, if you want to take it serious, you're going to win serious. And, we come out there in Washington County. We felt we had a good game plan. Coach Colley was confident in his game plan. Coach Kinsey obviously was confident in his game plan because it was, we knew we were getting the ball first. We said, all right, let's go get 6, get a stop, and then try to get that 6 back. And we know we could just about call game when you get up a couple possessions, and we're fortunate enough to do that. And, halftime we felt pretty confident. But, anybody that's been in that stadium as a Georgia fan, that stadium still kind of gives you some jitters on some confidence. But, the girls knew we told them at halftime, job's not finished. It's not finished. And you saw with that interception we got right there at the end of the game, they're still playing hard. They're still going all. They wanted the shutout. They take pride in the shutout. Me and Coach Colley, we preach it. That's a moment of pride. And when these kids believe in that, that's what they bought into. They want shutouts. And we're, unfortunately, Fitzgerald got 7 on us in the Final 4. That was the only points we gave up the entire playoffs.
Unbelievable, man. Glad that we got to be a part of it. Glad I was there last week in the county, and then obviously this week. I love you, brother. 2 things. One, Kudzu Sports. Glad it's back. Georgia Alabama Sports Live Kudzu Sports partnership has been going on for 3 years, and we're going to continue that strong. Nothing changes, Rick. I know people are asking me. It's the same thing. It's Harris County on GASL with Kudzu Sports. That's how it's always been, and will continue to be that way. And I hope everybody knows that. I just want to give you an opportunity, Rick.
Yeah, I mean, we're proud to have that. We're hoping to bring some kudzu stuff. We got, Ethan Pettit, the intern that's been helping us out so much. We're trying to get him a little more. Braxton Roy's another intern that's helped out some. He's done a lot more camera type stuff. They're creative. Kids are super creative if you give them that freedom. I think a lot of times we as adults, we don't give the kids, we don't listen to them, we don't think. They got some really good ideas. Braxton Roy, we're going to have a post on kudzu tomorrow. Harris County's got more wins than Mercedes-Benz and the Falcons this month. We're gonna post that one tomorrow, and just let these kids, let them cook, let them come up with their creativity. I love having them come. I love having Ethan come up with these graphics. Look, I can tell him what we want. And I love doing that. And I like seeing, an idea that I had grow into a cool looking post. But I really like when I wake up and my phone goes off and I got a graphic that he created from scratch, that he uses creativity. And that's what, Kudzu's given an opportunity for these kids to grow. And, some of them that are scared to say, hey, this might be funny. Hey, this could be creative. Hey, just do it. If it bombs, it bombs. If not, this is what it's all about. So we're hoping to bring the show back, Kudzu Sports Show.
Yep.
And talking some sports. Me and Ethan wants to talk about the flag football. He called all the games this year. He was statistician on the team this year. When he did play-by-play, he was keeping stats for Coach Kinsey.
Nice.
So he was working double duty up there at the broadcast booth, but he wants to do a show so he could talk about the run they went on and just enjoying it and, putting it over. So we're hoping to bring the show back and talk some other things, and maybe we'll get some home basketball games soon.
Right, no doubt about it, man. So I hope everybody understands Georgia Alabama Sports Live Kudzu for many years, covering the county unlike anybody else, man, and looking forward to doing some basketball games that you made mention and wrestling, anything else you can think of, Rick.
Absolutely.
All right, finally, we were at the we had the pleasure of being the voices last year, and the announcement's going to be made. Your boy and Rick Beach back at it again, bringing you all the coverage for the Lions. Cannot wait, Rick. I know you were excited when you saw the new ownership. It's been desperately needed, and I know you're excited to be a part of the Lions organization once again. And there's going to be a big year this year, man. I'm expecting major things from the Lions.
Yeah, and it's going to be fun. Those games are fun. The atmosphere is fun up there. And just the tempo of the game. It's kind of like, when you look at what flag football does, it's a faster version of the tackle football, but nothing as fast as arena football. You get in a 50-yard area, you get some hitting going on. You get some really good schemes out of these offenses. And, of course, when you got Nighthawk out there, your defense is always going to have a lot of fun to it with the Lions. So it's just fun football to watch. And who don't like football in the springtime?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, Rick, love you, brother. Thank you so much. What you do on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and look forward to many more county stuff coming up in the future.
Yeah, and Lions stuff coming up in the future.
Yeah. I just say Lions, literally, me and Rick will be starting pregame show. We're starting our weekly show with this coming up in the next month or two. And then before you know it, Rick, we're going to have our first game. Appreciate it, man. Congratulations on the state championship.
Hey, and the thing is, we keep showing these off. I think they might know we got more than one last year.
Rick, you're supposed to keep that between us, brother. Love you, man. Congratulations, and we'll talk soon.
All right, brother. Love you.
All right, that's Rick Beach. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to be talking with Mike Woods, and he doesn't know this yet, but I'm about to drop some rankings. Me and Richard are with him, and we're putting him on the spot. We're going to make him tell us if we're right or wrong. Coming up on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. Do not go anywhere. Carver basketball rankings with the great Mike Woods on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show.
It's here. Glenn Smith's closing out the year. Get massive savings on GMC Sierras and Terrains. New full-size GMC Sierras almost $15,000 off. New GMC Terrain Elevations as low as $289 per month. Or take advantage of 0% financing plus no payments until April of next year. Now is the time for end-of-year savings at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. Get ready to smile.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show, and let's bring him on. And Big Rich, Mike Woods, what is going on? How are you, man?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Great, man. Listen, I love the persona. I know something's going down when we see Mike Woods with a cowboy hat at a football game. Is that happening tomorrow when you're going to be on the call?
Yeah, you know it. Go have a hat on when we get it done.
I can't wait for it, Mike. Let's start with Carver, and then we're going to talk some basketball. You've been covering Carver all year long. This team's special. What makes him better than last year's team that had that dominant run that you got to call as well?
I think they just got so many weapons, man. You know, you look at the situation where you had Castle and Tarver last year, but then you add in this freshman phenom, and it just becomes you don't know which way they're going to hit you because I dare people to just think about. I've been challenging people all year long to say just put 9 in the box or 8 in the box and dare them to throw the ball. But they have some dynamite weapons on the outside that we have not just really hadn't got a chance to see this year with Tim Wilson, glimpses of it, and Sears. Those kids, KJ has been kind of dinged up this year, but they have some weapons on the outside as well. I just think it's like picking your poison, which way you want to get hit, a bit by a snake, or they just got so many weapons, man. And defensively, to me personally, I think this last game that they played, the game before the last one they played, probably was the worst defensive game I've seen them play. They missed a lot of tackles. I just don't think they'll do that again. This defense is solid. The DBs come up, they want to hit, they want to knock you out, and I think it's just hard. It's hard if you're not willing to challenge them and spread the field out. I think it's going to be hard on Hateville on tomorrow.
Mike, compare the two quarterbacks, Matthew Mungeon from last year and Sebastian Hurd, who's really come in and held his own as a freshman, and he's had some very unique skill sets.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I last year the same thing. I was big on. I wasn't locked in on Mungeon as well. I thought the same thing. You got to force Carver to throw the ball. Then he goes in last year in the state playoffs, and he has a great state championship game. He played well enough last year to keep teams honest. I thought he did that. But this freshman, man, the box top assassin, man, this kid, I watch the ball placement sometimes, and when he placing the ball, it's just amazing. You'll see him make some freshman mistakes with throwing bad interception, and then you come back and look at him like, oh man, that didn't bother him a bit. He'll turn around and drop one off in there, and the kids don't even have to break their stride. He hit him in stride, running the ball. So for people to have to worry about this kid for 3 more years, it's scary. It's really scary. So and now you got them receivers out there, so he ain't losing a whole lot. He's gonna play with Tim Wilson for the next 2 years, and then you got Sears who came in with him. Then you got a kid, 6'5" receiver that didn't touch the field this year, Tyler. That's gonna fill the void off. This team's gonna be special for a long time to come. I just put it like that.
Yeah, no doubt. Jarvis Jones has got something rolling right now, Mike Woods. Finally, about the game, 2 things. How awesome is it going with Ant Merritt? It's the young buck and the old buck. And tell me that chemistry y'all created. And give me a final score prediction, because I think we're all leaning that Carver butt whooping, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, I tell you, to answer your first question, man, Ant, it's been a pleasure, man. For us to start this thing 2 years ago, and again, you and I have conversations about it, not knowing and not having any experience in it, and just starting to being ourselves and being on a platform where we can be ourselves. And I mean, I call him the youngster. He called me his OG, and I call him the youngster. So, I think we fit well together. The chemistry is well. He's a bull puppy fan. And then I'm an Alabama Crimson Tide fan, so we go at it about that all the time. But it goes well with us with him, and he's always, I'm always pushing the envelope with him, trying to make him, get upset and get hyped about something. But we done a great job. I'm anxious about it tomorrow, and getting going back to the Mercedes being the house that Nick Saban built to call this state championship game for Carver. For us, a prediction on a bad night, Carver up 14. If Carver play well, 3 touchdowns or 4 touchdown win easily,
man. His name is Mike Woods. He is an analyst, a play-by-play extraordinaire. He is also a basketball coach and does amazing work. More importantly than ever, Mike, what you do at Girls Inc. is something that you should hang your hat on, and what you do for those girls and giving them an opportunity to experience things they probably never going to experience in their life. I always commend you for all the work you've done in your life, especially in the basketball field. And with that being said, Richard, throw it up there, man. I caught him off guard. Listen, this is Georgia.
Hey, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. I was watching y'all show on my TV, and I heard you say you were going to try to catch me off guard. but you didn't. So I'm ready for you, buddy.
Let's go. All right. First, let's start with the girls, Rich. We'll do the boys in a second. Let's go the girls. All right. Mike, girls. We'll start number 10, Brookstone. Number 9, Shaw. Number 8, your daughter, Jarquella Woods, who, again, off to a little bit of a slow start, but I'm expecting them to get better, and I'd love to hear your insight on it. And then we got Glenwood at number 7. Now, listen, head-to-head, we know some of these teams could beat others, but we do our rankings not off head-to-head, chance to win a region championship in your region. And sorry, Glenwood does not play in the toughest of regions. They do. I've gotten better, and I expect the Gators probably to win another region championship. But, Mike, 7 through 10, Glenwood, Northside, Shaw, what do you think about those?
7 through 10, pretty decent. If you're going by, like you said, winning regions, who can win their region. I don't know a whole lot about Glenwood's region. I know Dusty is still owe me some money. So if you hopefully he's watching me. I need to get my money back from Dusty Purdue. He's been owing me for about 20 years. But Dusty do a good job over there, and I know he was excited a little about going into actually AISA, I think it is. Alabama High School Association. I think he's not playing in the public school anymore, is he?
No, he's not. He's playing in Alabama High School Association.
Yeah, so I think he was kind of weary of that a couple of years back when I talked to him. But I hadn't got a chance to see a lot of their region. But I know Dusty. Dusty Purdue does a great job. That's I like that pretty good. As far as from Brookstone, I say Brookstone, Shaw, Northside. Everything looks pretty good right there. Northside, they're just so up and down. Shaw, I'm kind of shocked about what Shaw is right now.
Me too.
They have 2 young ladies that are pretty good, and we had assistant coach Kurt Crowell at our media day, and he guaranteed that he was going to win the region champs this year. He said that everybody else was playing for second place, so I know he's not happy with the start that he got off to so far. But it ain't how you start, it's how you finish. But other than that, right now I'm with you for 10 through 7.
All right, now let's continue on, Richard, and I'll get your insight here, and then we'll let Mike finish up with the rest of them. But number 6, Spencer. Number 5, Harris County. They just lost to who would they? I think it was Pacelli. Hardaway over the weekend. By the way, we learned our lesson, Mike Woods, by putting Hardaway as low as we did. We had a couple of people that were not too happy with me.
They want to fight. They want to fight, man.
Me and Big Rich.
I thought you and Big Rich were going to pay for some bodyguards.
We listen, man. I was trying to duck and cover every time I walk in the gym. Number 4, Pacelli. They just got beat by Russell County, but Pacelli, I think, still going to be a really good team. I know they're going to be without Grace Smith, but I think Bryant Thomas has a good enough team in the GIAA to still play for a state championship. I've seen others in their league. They're not as deep as years past. Pacelli is it, but they still got a really good team. Carver 0-5, but Anson Huntley's team has played a really tough schedule. I still expect them to be one of the top teams in the region, and they're really deep. They're 10 to 12 girls that can give you significant minutes. Hardaway comes in number 2. Great win over Harris County. Had to put them there. And, Mike, here's the surprise, man. Number 1, Russell County. They have taken Hardaway down. They have taken Pacelli down, both them on the road. They're undefeated. Mackenzie Wirtz put up over 20 points a game. I think this is one of the best starts I've ever seen from Russell County and Ricky Jones. What a season for them so far. Richard, we'll go you first and then Mike. Richard, what do you think so far with this list? Anything that stands out with you?
Well, I don't think that this is a fluke that Russell County is number 1 in our rankings. I think that not only are they going to make the playoffs in the AHSAA for the 6A, I think that they could compete with the defending 6A champions, Park Crossing. That's a real possibility. Hardaway is just rolling. Once they get Rihanna Boynton and Makai Mims back and they start region play, they're going to be rattling off some wins. And another colleague of ours, Kyle Sandy from Sandy Spell, might put Hardaway back in their rankings. I'm shocked that Hardaway is not even in the top 10 in Sandy Spell because, that's a ranking that we value, and we definitely value Kyle Sandy's opinion as a basketball guru in the state of Georgia. Like I said, Carver, once they get some region wins, they're going to be fine. Pacelli, they've already got 2 losses to 6A East Coweta and to Russell County. But they're gonna have a stretch. I think they got a stretch where they play Central and they play Hardaway, I believe. So, yeah, they're going to be battle tested. The job that Coach Stephanie Ramsey done, always consistent at Harris County. I know, Mike, your daughter plays her twice a season, two big region rivals, and then what Coach Tinch has done at Spencer, 6-2. They just continue rolling along. So, yeah, I agree with these rankings. What do you think, Coach?
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna start with Russell County. Russell County, you know, people don't understand how chemistry means so much. You know, when you get these kids that have been playing together, it ain't always about the best talent. Who's the most talented team? It's about who's the most well-rounded team. These kids have the luxury of playing together for a while. I know the two words, cousins. They've been in the gym forever. They started off in the gym over there with us at Girls Inc. Parents would bring them every day. I would get so tired of them sometimes. They'd be in the gym every day, coming to get workouts. And you can see what the workout has done for these kids as far as not just me, what we did, the foundation, but, you know, what they continue to do. So Russell County, you know, I'm not surprised of their success, what they're having right now, because those kids and they're still going to be pretty much going to be together next year. So I'm not surprised at that. I would say this is where the thing gets dicey with me. Hardaway and Carver. I believe that Carver is going to be the region champs. I believe Carver is going to beat everybody in their region, and the reason why is because girls basketball right now, we're struggling with the guard play. Carver has a boatload of athletes who can run and get at you whenever they want to get at you, and I think
they've always had great guard play.
Exactly, and I don't think they're great. I don't think they're great. I think they just have more depth that they can send a bunch of people at. If you look at Hardaway right now, they're struggling. Mims is actually back. She's actually back playing. They're only missing one player now. They're only missing Rihanna Boynton. They just got the big freshman who they've been waiting for her to play. Zoe Pickett. She played her first game this past week. Mims played. She's actually played like 2 or 3 games so far.
Maria Crawley, who's averaging 18 points a game, who's a freshman.
Yes, and that's why I think the big surprise has come. But I think what's going to hurt Hardaway is that they had a transfer that left Carver and went to Hardaway, and she was going to be the piece that was going to give J-Bug a little help with at the ball handling spot. And I think that's going to hurt them when it comes down to playing Carver. Carver right now, like you said, is 0-5, but they've been playing a tough schedule. I just don't think nobody's going to have enough ball handlers to withstand the pressure. And don't get it twisted. I don't think this Carver team is nowhere near the best team that Huntley has ever had. I just think that this year, because of the lack of guard play in our area, Carver is going to be able to throw a lot of people at Jayla Todd when they play Hardaway, and I just don't see them having enough ball handlers right now to handle that pressure. Now, Rihanna's going to come back. Hopefully she'll be back sometime soon, but you know, it doesn't really matter if you can't get her the ball. We know what she can do once you get the ball, but if they can't get her the ball, it's going to be a problem. So it's so important with Jayla Todd and what she's going to be able to do with this team, being that she's sat and watched that senior led group last year. So that's the one I would flip. And I know people would say, why would you flip that with Carver being 0-5 and Hardaway being 5-2? It's just that personnel. What I think is how it's going to turn out based off what you guys say. Y'all are basing it off who y'all predict to win regions. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, region championship, state championship within your league. You got to think about that because, you know, no offense, but Brookstone, Glenwood, Brookstone and Pacelli play in a little bit different league and a little bit different path than a Carver and Russell County do. But it's hard to go head to head, man. It really is. So we try to do it all within their league.
And then I think even going back to, I know Jaquella wouldn't want me to say this, but I think even going back with the Northside versus Harris County, I think Northside has the edge this year. To be honest with you, they have the edge this year as far as their girls can play again. Stephanie's young this year. She lost a lot. She's gonna do a good job in coaching, but I think it should be between Northside. Northside should have a good chance at playing for the region championship this year. They had a tough loss last week against Jonesboro, but you know I think they got a good chance with the pieces and the size and everybody trying to come along. They can gel. I think they're gonna give some people some problems. So I think that's gonna be that game right there is going to mean a whole lot when they play each other head up. But I think it probably going to be one of those two teams. But right now, not just because she's my daughter, I would probably give the edge to Northside in the championship over playing, because they already know who's going to be on the other side is for the championship. It's just who's going to play, who's going to get a chance to play them. But that's the other thing. And then I wouldn't count Shaw out completely. I think with those kids playing flag football, it has hurt a lot more than what Coach Crowell and the head coach has thought about over there. So I think once they settle down and they lost 2 tough games to Northside this year so far. But I think once they get, and then they lost, I think 2 games to Russell County. So they hadn't played a slouch schedule either. So again, I'm anxious to see how Shaw does. The region is up in the air, pretty much. But again, I'm if I had to pick anybody, I've said this on. Huntley was in the gym the other day, and I'm like, man, I you and I don't like each other too much. I mean, we joking around, but I said, I think y'all got a chance to still win it because the guard play. He's just so deep at the guard play. He don't have size, but it ain't gonna matter when you send him. You got 8 kids, you got track stars who you can send at people consistently with pressure. And I don't think America Sumter, talking to their coach, she's had 2 key injuries, and one of her best players decided not to play. So she's going to be young. So it's going to go down to between these 3 local teams, Carver, Hardaway, and Shaw. And I think Carver's going to come out this year as the region champs.
His name is Mike Woods. He is a basketball analyst, longtime basketball coach, done a lot for this community. And I'm with you. And one team on the list I really want to shout out before we move on to the boys, Mike. Spencer, Coach Cinch, without the Burke sisters, and now it's the Rosser sisters. Nadra and Karma have done a great job, and they are 6-2. I saw them against Brookstone. Really impressed with how Coach Cinch's team has started. All right, Mike, for the last – go ahead.
She's doing a good job, and I think she's doing it the right way. And the reason why I say that, because she knew she was losing a lot, and she put a schedule that can be beneficial to her young kids. And sometimes you kill kids' confidence, man, when you go out there playing those big time schedules and knowing you're not ready for it. So I think, she did it the right way, and who knows what can happen. I hadn't gotten a chance to see them play as much, but again, I've watched them play a couple times. I want to see them a little bit in person against some of the local teams in their region. But she's done a good job, and she's doing it the right way.
All right, let's do boys. Number 10, Glenwood Gators, 2-5. That's kind of by default. We really didn't have another option. Columbus, but they beat Columbus already. I really didn't see another team right now. So Glenwood comes in at number 10. Calvary really needs to be moving up, but we're not ready yet. They're 7-1. Now, they played a little bit of easy schedule, but Coach Gordon's team's got a lot of talent on there. They actually played Shaw this Saturday at Shaw. We'll learn a lot about them and their guard play. You got the young guys of James and Keyshawn Hall. Shout out to Hershey Hawkins going against the seniors of Bringo Baldwin's son and Tally.
Alenzo Tally.
I always do that. Number 8, Shaw. I was really high on them early on, Mike, and I still think they got a chance to be competitive in their region and be a top 3 team, but they've got off to kind of a slow start. They've got right off a few wins in a row. Smith Station losing back-to-back. Russell County kind of took a little bit of luster out of it, but still, Coach Ingersoll's team, I think, with Central being down, Auburn up for grabs, Opelika's okay. Smith Station got just as good a chance as anyone else in their region to win. Number 6, Kendrick. I like Coach Andre Dye's team. Noah Harris, 19 points a game. Y'all can sleep on him all you want. I think Kendrick gets 20 wins this year. Number 5, Spencer. It's this year in and year out, Mike. They make it to the quarterfinals, seems like almost every single season. Coach Quintavious Allen's team has been blowing out everyone, and I expect them to be atop the region again, them and Carver. Number 4, we're going to save the top 4 in just a moment. Let's do 5 through 10 first. Mike, 5 through 10, give me your thoughts, and then Richard, you go next.
Hey, I think I'm with you on that, Kendrick. Noah is the real deal. He actually played travel ball with our. I found that got back into doing boys this year, and we started out. We was sponsored with we played in the New Balance League this year, sponsored with New Balance, and we were able to have a good season. I just watched Noah from the time I had him, seeing him play when he was in middle school in our All-Star game. I just watched him. So humble, good kid. Smooth as silk, understands the game and could be coached. I love the way he's he's able to be coached, man. And I think Dye's doing a great job with that group of kids over there, man. And they're just a bunch of hungry kids that like to work hard. They get at it, they work hard, and I think they are a sleeper. Kendrick can easily be up 4 to me, right now. Kendrick could easily be up to 4 with the way Pacelli is struggling. But I know, like you say, it's not head to head. It's about winning their regions and stuff like that. Spencer, coach. No, I'm sorry, I'm going back. Smith Station down with Ingersoll. He's gonna do a great job. I think 2 tough losses. Region competition with it. These guys know each other very well, and they played in the gym with each other. They know each other well. And these kids are gonna compete. So I wouldn't hate on them too much. Wouldn't put too much hurt on them because they're losing to Russell County. Because I know what looking at that big win Russell County had over Pacelli this past week, with coming back, they were down like 15-20 to Pacelli and came back to beat Pacelli in that gym. So that's not a slouch. Now Shaw is a sleeper. Shaw's pretty good. They just got to figure it out. They're so young and so talented, but they just got to figure it out. And Shaw's going to be scary this year as far as region play. I'm anxious, and believe it or not, mark this on your calendar. That Shaw Carver game is going to be something serious. Watch and see. That Shaw, a lot of those kids played against each other this summer on our travel team, and if you had heard the trash talking inside of that gym, man, if y'all don't have that game on y'all schedule, y'all better put that Carver Shaw.
Oh, we got it. No doubt about it, man. I definitely got it down for that one. Richard,
and Calvary, Calvary is. I mean, like I said, I hadn't seen. I know they got a bunch of young talent, but Jonathan gonna do a good job. But I'm that sleeper down there. That Braylon Alexander, man, that's a kid. That kid is the truth.
Mike, can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
Then Richard, you go, because I know we got Mike Frost waiting on us. Mike Woods, Braylon as a freshman putting up 30 points a game, and again, I like hot takes, man. He's one of the best freshmen I've ever seen. Talk about the natural God-given talent, and we talked about this, me and DJ, and we've talked to you about it too, Mike. We don't have a lot of for sure Division I. I'm talking about Power 5, Auburn, Alabama, Georgia, boys basketball players in a long time. I think he's going to be that next guy. What's your thoughts on Braylon?
Man, listen, I've been trying to get on. I've been knowing his mom. I helped her. She played in our travel program a while back. That's how old I am.
Wow, man.
And I've been trying to get her on the phone for the last 2 weeks. Hopefully she's watching y'all's show, because I know that this kid right now, like you say, he got Power 5 written all over him. But it's about people seeing the right people. I know he played in travel ball as well, but it's about the right people seeing him and knowing how good he is. Because, you're always going to be judged by the league you play in. But this kid is a real deal. He has a chance to play Power 5 basketball. He's humble. I got a chance to talk to him at a middle school game. And like I said, know both his parents. But, he probably has a really good shot at playing Power 5. Well, Power 4 now. Power 4 Division I basketball, man. And because he only going to get better. He's only going to get better, man. So, yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Rich, what's your thoughts on 5 through 10 before we talk about the top 4?
A couple things. Spencer, even though they're 4-0, they haven't really been tested yet. Both Gaither brothers are leading the teams in scoring, and then Jamari and Griffin. So we've got some younger siblings from some notable players that we have covered throughout the years. They do play Carver of Atlanta actually tomorrow, and then they're in the Heard County tournament. But, yeah, we'll get more clarification during region play. I was able to see Kendrick on Saturday take on Brookstone. Noah Harris is good as advertised. He is just a phenomenal player, but it is the depth that Coach Andre Dye has what makes Kendrick special, and I think they can compete for a region championship. I like the backcourt of Smith Station with Mahogany and Peabody, but Jarquez Williams is a beast down low. I think Smith Station's going to be fine. I think that Shaw is going to be tested against Calvary. We'll find out how good this Shaw team is. I do want to say we know Calvary is good with Dylan Hostin, and then you've got that incredibly young backcourt. I do want to say Glenwood at 2-5. I was there when they took on Lynette. That was a very tough game. They had a 9-point lead. Lynette came back. There were some questionable foul calls. That usually happens when you go to a hostile environment like Lynette. And I think that Glenwood is going to have an opportunity to rattle off some wins. So I don't look at that record and think, oh, well, why is Glenwood in our top 10? We could have put Brookstone there. They are 4-5. We could have put Columbus, but we still believe that Glenwood is a top 10 team that's going to compete for an area title.
All right. And now we got several comments, and I want to make sure that Mike Woods has the ability to talk about this. For one, our guy Jonathan Gordon says, Mike, come to the Calvary Show game. I was just going to, Jonathan, I'll extend the invite. Trust me, I'm going to try to have him on the call on Saturday if he's not busy. I'd love for Mike to be in attendance for that game this Saturday. Mike, open invitation to be on the call with me and Rich if you can. If not, let's continue on because we got people asking, explain the number 3 ranking. Let's first do number 4. Pacelli's right now having a tough time in the guard play, and obviously the point guard position, something they're going to have to continue to work on all year long. They've lost to Russell County. They lost to Griffin. They almost lost to Heritage. And then they just lost this past week, Richard, this weekend to Douglas County. Again, these are all really good teams. I'm not saying they're bad losses, but when you had a 40-game winning streak, you thought I thought this Pacelli team could do something really special, which they still can. But right now they're struggling. And that Russell County game was eye-opening. To be up 23, Mike Woods, and to lose in the fourth quarter, I think Pacelli, obviously, they have not experienced this in 2 years. They didn't lose at all last year. Calvin Thomas and the program are going to be fine. They got way too much talent not to win the GIAA championships. I hope they will be back up in the rankings because it's about winning state. But right now, I feel like they needed a drop. Carver's number 3 because they haven't played anyone. When they play a game, I'll be gladly put them up there. Right now, this is a preseason for them, Mike. So why should they be rewarded ahead of Russell County, who's went on the road and has the best win out of anybody on this list at Pacelli, down 23. Yeah, I'm rewarding Ronnie Battlestein for and being number 2. And number 1, I think they're going to win it all. Sandy Spiel has Chatco, the number 1 team in 1A. Why would they not be number 1 in ours? What's your thoughts on the top 4, Mike Woods and Richard?
Well, let me say this. I know it's probably some Carver Tigers in your chat.
They are. They were asking how they number 3.
So let me say this to you. You shouldn't, I agree with you, and they know we all good friends over there and all that stuff. There with some of the coaches. I talked to Eric Allen just last night. I talked to him, but again, you should be blessed that you're in the top 10, period, because you haven't played the game and nobody has seen you play. So we are talking about what you are capable of doing, but we're looking at the Pacelli. Nobody probably would have thought they would be 1-3. Nobody probably would have thought Glenn would be 2-5 right now. You have to play the game. So right now, you're being blessed to be, I ain't gonna say blessed, because it's all our opinion. It's opinionated. But y'all have them at 3, and they haven't played the game yet. So again, you can look around at Kendrick and say, okay, why isn't Kendrick at 3?
Right.
So at the end of the day, when they start to winning games, quite naturally, everybody in this city know what kind of talent Carver has. You know that Carver is probably projected to be the best boys basketball team in this area. But at the end of the day, you haven't played the game yet. So, you're lucky. Me personally, I wouldn't have even put them in the ranking because they hadn't played in the game yet.
Right.
But at the end of the day, just hush and get ready to play.
Right.
they got I think I talked to Coach Mayo today, and they have 4 games. They have a game Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So maybe I have something to say after these. Come back and talk to y'all about that ranking after this week.
Right, and then someone was just saying, no, a 0-0. Okay, gotcha. Now that makes sense. They were actually saying that they should be ranked, which, Mike, you're making a great point. This is, again, off of what we think they're going to do. But how do you feel about Chatco and Russell County being number 1 and number 2?
I like what Chatco is doing. For that kid, you have a kid. That's how loaded. Speaking of Carver, that's how loaded Carver is. You had a kid, Champ Simpson, who was not probably in big in their rotation at Carver, but look at what he's doing over at Holdridge County now. So, and then you have Bam, who's a great backcourt. Those kids are playing really hard. I watched them play earlier, and they just play so hard. And I love teams like that. Even with my days over at Chat Valley, man, we pride ourselves on playing defense. They're going to be nice when you're not shooting the ball well, but if you play defense well, you're going to give yourself a chance. And Chatco do that. They do that. They play hard. So again, I like that. I was real impressed with what Russell County did with like you said, the comeback with Pacelli. I've been knowing Ronnie Battle for a long time. Him and I played against each other, and I know he's a good coach. And for his kids not to shut down, because the best thing that happened for them is they weren't playing in Alabama. Because if they had been playing in Alabama, Pacelli could have stalled the ball like they
The whole time. Good point.
With no shot clock. So that shot clock, having a shot clock, it gave them a chance to still be in that game and come back. So it mattered.
Rich, I know you've been high on Chatco. Wrap it up with your thoughts, man.
They look like they could win a championship. Champ Simpson is the real deal, but he also has help with Javen Tullis, Bam Purnell, Gavin Patterson. They were supposed to play Marion County this past weekend. Unfortunately, that game got moved to January the 3rd because our thoughts and prayers go out to the Marion County community. I know they suffered a tragedy, so they decided to cancel the games. But yeah, I'm excited to see what Chatco does this year. Russell County, we're gonna be getting them a couple more times before the end of the year, and then they're gonna be. I think they're featured in that holiday showcase, but we actually have the schedule. So yeah, we're excited that we're closing out this new year, this 2025, getting ready for the new year, and just seeing all these teams play, and maybe our rankings will change a little bit.
That's the point of the rankings, baby. And by the way, Eric and Scott, sorry, I've definitely misunderstood the question, and thank you so much for commenting. Mike, thank you so much, man. I look forward to seeing you in Atlanta tomorrow, and I look forward to many more times you hopping on the show and doing this with us all basketball season long.
Hey, man, don't forget about now. We got this week coming up.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Say that. I forgot. I'm inviting you to something, and you already got an event that we're going to actually try to be at as well.
Yeah.
So sorry about that, Mike.
Yeah, we got the Balling Before Christmas Middle School Tournament first time that's happening here. We partnered up with Davis Broadcasting, DBI, and we're going to do a Christmas tournament, the real Christmas tournament style. We're going to have 14 boy teams, 12 girl teams. We're going to be doing them on Friday night, Double Churches, Veterans, and Northside High School. And then on Saturday and Sunday, the semifinals and finals will be at Northside. So again, everybody come out, support the kids, man. And, we love for you guys to be a part as well. Because again, it's open to everybody, man. We're going to have food trucks, vendors, funnel cake, people out there. It's going to be nice. We're giving out, we're going to love to have y'all, because we're going to select first team, all tournament team for both the boys and the girls. We'll give out MVP trophies and for the winner of the boys and the girls championship, and run up the trophies as well. So we need many eyes in the building that know basketball that can help give the right kid the deserving rewards, because sometimes these people give awards out to people who they like versus who deserve it. So if y'all can come out, man, and we looking forward to it. And again, I see y'all tomorrow in the house, that Nick Saban bill. You understand?
His name is Mike Woods. I love him, man. Look forward to seeing you at that middle school. We're definitely going to be there for the championship and the semifinals, man. Thanks, Mike. See you tomorrow at the Benz.
Appreciate it, guys. See you later.
See you, Mike.
That's Mike Woods. Rich, just take a break. We come back. We got Mike Frost here on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show.
At Planet Fitness, there's strength in numbers. The number of different workouts to do.
1, 2, 3. Woo!
Different clubs to do it in. Friends to do it with.
Looking good, everybody.
Yeah, we are.
And the number of ways to recover from it all.
You got this. Come on.
And it all adds up to one membership. The Planet Fitness Black Card. Access any location, bring a friend anytime, and recover in the Black Card Spa.
One more, everybody.
We're all strong on this planet. Planet Fitness.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Thrift Barringer, and now joining me is Mike Frost.
What's up?
What's up, man? How are you?
Hanging in there, man. Busy like in this cold weather right now.
Yeah, I know it, brother. All right, couple things, man. I want to talk about Carver. You've been a part of their ride. You did pretty much the entire playoff run, man. This team has been special. We were there for the only game they had trouble with, which was Sumter County. They won that 8-7. Other than that, they've dominated everybody. Do you think Hateville Charter has any chance of slowing this Carver train down?
I do not, honestly. I don't think Hateville really has the defense to be able to stop them. It's going to be Carver having to stop themselves in order to lose this ball game, whether it's turnovers, mistakes. But right now, with the amount of talent they have and what they've shown throughout the season, I don't see it happening. And plus, they're resilient enough to overcome the mistakes they do make when it do happen. So,
Yeah, I think when you're talking about guys like Tristan Givens, it's really the defensive line. At this level, Mike, you've seen 4A, 5A, 6A. In the 2A level, you got a big defensive line, which I think Carver can put up there with the big boys like Carrollton and Buford, by the way, which is number 1 team in the country versus number 5. Many people are saying the winner of that is going to be the national champion. That happens right after Carver, by the way, at Mercedes-Benz. Do you think it's the trenches, the thing that you know about all too well and your bread and butter? You think that's what makes this Carver team so dominant?
Oh, exactly. I mean, I believe that wholeheartedly. I mean, you got the entire front offensive line is 280 plus, and they are mean machines up there. You see them coming out, they're road graders up front. You know, I mean, that's why their running game's so good. I mean, of course, you got 3 great running backs, but the boys up front don't get a whole lot of the articles and the headlines about them, though they're the one blowing the holes wide open for them, you know. Right. The defensive front, I mean, Tristan Givens, I call him Jadeveon Clowney 2.0 with the hits I've seen him make. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, the kid coming into the season, I didn't know too much about him because I hadn't been around the game much until this season lately. And he was everything that I'd heard about it. Once I saw him play the first time, I was like, all right, yeah, this kid's the real deal.
Yeah. And, man, I'm telling you, he's hard to block, and he has been very dominant. Mac, you were watching flag football. How about Harris County winning the state championship, man? That's really big for this community, and I really am proud of Rick Beach and Harris County for being able to pull that off.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was watching it on the network while I was actually at work today. I couldn't miss it. But, yeah, I mean, that defense was lights out, man. And then here I just seeing Colley play back there at the quarterback position was unreal as far as the athleticism on both sides of the field for Harris County. And you could tell towards the end of the game, I think they already knew the championship was in hand. But at that point, it was like, all right, let's keep that goose egg on the scoreboard. We want to leave here with a shutout. And they did.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. I'm glad that we were able to be there to cover it. Had a lot of fun being able to do that. We are with Mike Frost, part of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Mike, you are now our resident wrestling expert. You were there at Jordan. How was that being able to cover wrestling on Georgia Alabama Sports Live and showcasing these athletes in another form, another sport on our great platform?
Man, I love it, man. I mean, I hadn't been around wrestling. I mean, I hadn't seen a wrestling match probably in about 10 years, to be honest with you. And going back into it this year at Smith Station twice already, being at Jordan, seeing these kids and everything. I mean, the atmosphere itself is electric. I mean, you're in there close. It's a closer vicinity in the gymnasium, but I mean, these kids it's wild. You got the parents that are loud. I mean, it's probably the more intense sport because it's one-on-one. You got parents and siblings watching their brother or son. I'm talking about just go at it, headbutting, grabbing, trying. It's like it's a legal fight is what it is the entire time. So, but it's awesome to watch, man. These kids work their tails off year round to stay in shape because there's no way I can stay out there and wrestle for somebody. Just 2 minutes feels like 30 minutes if you're locked up with somebody. So, and those kids just do it day in, day out. It's awesome to be there.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. And I love you're on the call. I love your personality when doing that, Mike. The GHSA came out and denied Carver's appeal. The Lady Tigers, who were in the flag football fiasco with Gainesville. And this is 2 weeks after they denied the appeal, but then they went to court for Gainesville. Obviously, Carver didn't have enough time to be able to do all that. And so Gainesville, either way, got smoked by Harris County in that quarterfinals, 34-0. So it really didn't matter. I don't know if Carver would have beat Harris County, who would become your eventual state champion, but it's a simple fact that the rules seem like they kind of got skewed for Gainesville. Yeah. And I'd love to get your insight on it. I hate how they treated Carver in that, and I think they should be ashamed of themselves, and Carver should have been allowed to finish that game, and they were actually beating Gainesville before that fight went down, and which, by the way, Gainesville started. But I don't agree with the fact that people are saying Gainesville boys should not be in the championship. No, they won on the field. They dominated everyone. The fight that you're talking about that should have forfeited them, basically not having any good players in the game against, I forgot who they played right after Brunswick, that they ended up smoking anyway.
Langston Hughes.
Yeah, Langston Hughes. Yeah. Regardless, Mike, they won and they dominated. They've been the best team, and they should be in the state championship. I don't think the fight, when the game's already over with, should dictate, especially when it has nothing to do with the field. Now, if you're talking about cheating, sign stealing or stuff like that, that's a whole different ballgame. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a fight with young kids. No, I don't think that should have 30 people suspended. That would have cost them a chance to play in the state championship when it was obvious they're the best team in 5A right now.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly there. I mean, they should be in the title game. Of course, it's kind of funny how it kind of flipped back and forth between what happened in that football game and then, like you talked about with the Carver, it was like, the Carver girls were protecting their player who got attacked, and yet Gainesville was arguing the same thing in the regular football, that's what they did, and that's what their coach was on TV going, basically national news, trying to get everything out there. My kids were sticking up for their teammate. Well, so were the Carver girls, but yet the same rules didn't apply on that end. So I didn't like that, the way that they sped through that process. And they're like, you know what, never mind. Nah, it's all good. I believe if it wasn't Carver or a team out of Columbus, and if it wasn't flag football, they'd have taken it more seriously. I feel like, it is a newer sport, but these girls work just as hard as anybody else does out there on the field. So I feel like they kind of ruined what could have been a great season for Carver, because before the fight happened, they had the ball. They were already up. It was late in the third quarter, and that 15 more yards after the penalty was already assessed would have put them down near the goal line already. So they could have been up 2 scores in that game to make it to the quarterfinals against Harris County. So, I mean, not saying that the outcome would have been any different than what the Harris County Gainesville game was, but still, those girls would have liked to have at least extended their season a little longer. They worked just as hard as the Gainesville girls did. So, but yeah, alluding to the fact of the regular football with the Gainesville guys, of course, the guys involved in the fight, if they'd have started it, I can understand them being suspended, but I don't feel like, even if they do come off the sideline, if you watch film, everything's recorded now. So you can see who's actually throwing punches, who's actually trying to stop fights. You can zoom in and see that. So
100%.
I don't feel like it's if you leave the sideline to protect your teammate, you're automatically disqualified or ejected or whatever. I don't agree with that one bit. So I think that, they should make it, and they've earned the right to be in the state title game just as much as anybody else has.
Mike, finally, give me your thoughts. State championship. Give me a prediction. What do you think is going to happen about Ben's 5 o'clock Carver Hateville Charter?
I believe Carver's going to basically do what they did last week against Burke County. They're going to come out and they're going to run the ball down Hateville Charter's throat. I mean, I feel like, I called it right before the game. I remember being in the press box with Mike Peacock, and I said, this is going to be the Popcorn Tarver show tonight. And I said that before kickoff, and sure enough, the kid ran for almost 200 yards, had him a couple touchdowns. I mean, it was basically they run at will when they want to. You know what I mean? They got, like I said, they got the road graders up front. You've got fresh legs regardless between 3 running backs outstanding in the backfield. Sebastian Hurd is basically he's at that point now, which is good as a freshman quarterback. Just don't turn the ball over. You got 3 outstanding running backs in the backfield. Your job is to just play point guard. So just don't turn it over, dish it out, let your boys do their thing out there in the open field. And I feel like it's going to be a 3-4 score ball game by the end of it. I think Carver's going to run away with it.
I think it's going to be dominant at halftime for sure. All right, Mike, thank you so much, man. Appreciate what you do for Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, brother. Thank you.
That's Mike Frost, Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Well, we want to say thank y'all so much for watching. Go make sure to like us on Facebook and Instagram. Do not forget, we're going to be live from the Mercedes-Benz tomorrow. You're going to get pregame, postgame, halftime, live updates. Follow us on social media, Facebook and Instagram, to be able to get all the news and notes. Also want to say thank you again to DJ Jones and Sports Visions for allowing us to be a part of the luncheon. 18 years DJ and Dell started this, giving back to the community. We had close to 1,000 people in attendance. We had hundreds of boys and girls, flag football and football there to award them. You can go back and watch it on Georgia Alabama Sports Live and on Sports Visions. Had a lot of fun. Courtney Morgan, the GM from Alabama, very informative interview with DJ. And then, of course, John Parker Wilson and Morgan Stanley there to talk about NIL. Just a great luncheon, great time, and congratulations to all those that were involved and a part of it. Well, we want to say thank you again for watching. We'll see you tomorrow live from Mercedes-Benz. It's the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. Signing off. We'll see you next time.